Thank you. That was African Study.
We are a group of artists who perform acts of random kindness through music. We can help our youth in Africa. It does not prevent us from doing something for the youth here where we live. I'm lucky that these artists, these ARK Jammers, accepted to join me in this because for free, you know what I mean? They traveled from Europe, paid for their own airline ticket and everything. This is what giving is all about. This is what caring is all about, you know. They had to cancel paid concerts, to come and do this, and I really take this opportunity to thank them again from the bottom of my heart for joining me, for believing in the cause, and for giving of their time, and especially their talent. The most important thing was to send a message, tell people, the African diaspora here, that they can help the youth in foster care, and I think we did that.
I have the distinct pleasure of representing over 4,000 children in foster care in Washington, D.C. And let me tell you, I fell in love with Aveline Aza the moment that I met her. Of course, I was a little curious to see where is she coming from, but I think her passion and her zealousness just blew me out of the water. I know she has overcome a lot of obstacles to make this event become a reality, and I thank her so much. She's my hero, she's my shiro, and I'd like to thank all of you for coming out tonight. I'd like to thank the ARK Jammers, all of the musicians. We really need you so much. This work of taking care of the most vulnerable people and children in the District of Columbia, we cannot do this by ourselves.
The issue of foster care is an issue that is with us and affects all societies, regardless of, you know, where these children are coming from, whether they come from African American households or whether they come from white households, whichever households they come from, foster care is fairly universal.
Personally, I am not surprised that members of the African diaspora are coming to the aid of their African brothers and sisters, and particularly our most vulnerable population, our children, here in Washington, D.C. And Pam, the reason I'm not surprised is because Africans have helped Africans, whether we're in Washington, D.C., in the United States of America, or whether we're in the Caribbean, or on the continent. So we are open and welcome the continued support that members of the African diaspora are providing to our children here in Washington, D.C. We have our, as you know, our organization, Child and Family Services, who is very much involved in supporting our foster care children here in the District of Columbia. We're very open to the support that we're receiving.
My father wasn't a foster care. There's no foster care system in Cameroon as such. You see what I mean? But the way this woman raised him, she raised him as a foster parent would raise, their foster child. She didn't stay in Cameroon for a long time. She came back to the US, but let me tell you, she was present in my father's life. Took care of him until she passed away, really.
We need to leave kind of footprints. You know, when I look backward, I have to say, oh, I did well. I did well, a little bit well. So life is not only making money, having fun. We have responsibility towards the kids, towards our neighbors, towards everyone. So this is the way I live.
It touched a lot of people, and primarily people at the foster care representative that was there.
It was certainly overwhelming, and it was especially memorable in that particular day was the day that President Barack Obama was accepting his Democratic nomination and giving his speech. So it was just so wonderful, him being of American and African ancestry, that it was just so fitting that the African ambassadors' wives would reach out to their family, to their American family, and really touch the American children. So it was a magical moment.
It's not difficult. This consists of inviting a young girl into our home to spend the day, maybe learn how to prepare an African dish, or how to wear our traditional attire, or again, talk to them about Africa, have them watch African movies. We don't necessarily have to bring people from Africa to do this. It's just a question of goodwill. First, I'd like to congratulate them. You don't always find Africans who think that some people here in America would need help. Africans are known to always go ask for help, but this time, they're offering to help. I wish them courage and luck in their endeavor, and specifically want them to know that I'm here for them anytime.
And it was a pleasure to be involved in the foster care effort. That is a unique thing. Most of us, when we form NGOs or companies, we are forming them to help our brothers and sisters in the continent. But it's very unique that our sister thought about doing something for the children in the United States, particularly in Washington, D.C. So I'm very excited that she's continuing to put together a program that will be very exciting and will continue the legacy that she has set.
Moving along. how this came about is Adeline Ava approached me with the idea because her father was adopted by an American, and so she wanted to give back as an African, back to African Americans. In our system, it's predominantly like 98% African American children in the foster care system. And so she came up with this brilliant idea to do a beautiful cultural concert to benefit our children in care.
Oh yes, everything you have, count what you take for granted in your life. Count what you have, whether great or small, especially the things that money can never buy.
Evelyn came to me, about, I would say, three years ago with that idea. And she took time to prepare it.
It was a very learning experience for me because you're dealing with music, a social cause, and big institutions like the World Bank and IMF. Putting all that together was really fun.
She took time to put it together, to talk to the people at the foster home, to talk to the people at the World Bank, to talk to the people at the IMF, and also, of course, the African club, the African club of the World Bank, African Society of the World Bank, IMF and World Bank. And she did a marvelous job. And let's say that she's a very grown-up artist.
We are blessed because we plan to bring the band from Paris, because we are working with musicians in Paris, and we found out we couldn't have the proper budget, so the solution was to have musicians in the DC area. And fortunately, we went to visit this place called the Village Restaurant.
I have a restaurant in Cabaret. We offer live music on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We specialize in Cameroonian cuisine. We offer other African cuisine as well, but our specialty is Cameroonian because Cameroonian cuisine envelops all African cuisine. That's actually why I launched this restaurant in the US. We also have a variety of African music that you can listen to at the restaurant Le Village every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I also do a lot of humanitarian work, and I always try to help out the children in need because not all young people think like me or are as grounded. That's why I wanted to give a hand in this project.
And there's a band from Cameroon playing there every weekend. Adeline, she's doing Bikutsi, she's singing Bikutsi according to jazz. So for that we need a piano player who can afford playing jazz chords, bringing this atmosphere of jazz.
I met Papa Noel at a jam session in Silver Spring. I used to live there, and I went by to see some friends, and he came in, and they sat back in the back like this. They said, "Okay, Papa Noel." And I took notice of him because he's the only man I knew had a Santa Claus hanging from his base. So I said, I better pay attention to this guy. You know, he wore a red hat, and he started playing and singing. It was really funky, and I felt bad that I didn't get a chance to play with him. You know, so then we talked. You know, and he says, "Well, I have this concert coming up. You know, will you play with me?" I said, "Of course, I'd be glad to." So that's how it happened.